Come on, Team Cowboys!
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And Cowboys Nation, if you are not subscribed to Mina Kimes' YouTube channel, I highly suggest that you go do so. She is one of the NFL's finest analysts. I respect her football knowledge. I respect her take on each NFL team because she does what I've wanted each analyst to do, and that's be unbiased in their analysis. But during her podcast, the Mina Kimes Show, she, as well as former NFL offensive lineman Marshall Newhouse, broke down the NFC East, and Mina Kimes was pretty optimistic when it came to the Dallas Cowboys offense. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the clips from the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny. You know, we can't forget about Lenny.
George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on the field at the same time is a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. I know everybody said, well, yeah, if you get good George Pickens, okay, sure. But if you're a defense, you're anticipating it's the George Pickens who consistently wins down the sideline, and now you have to deal with him and CeeDee Lamb. Last year alone, when Lamb was playing with, Cooper Rush, versus single high coverage, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens were respectively 4th and 8th in yards per game. Over the last 3 years on deep balls, 3rd and 5th in catches. As a defense, the pure math of having to deal with both of these two players and a quarterback who's capable of delivering them the ball accurately and aggressive. Marshall, you're just so you have to make difficult decisions from the jump when you're playing these two wide receivers.
You are absolutely right, Mina Kimes. I've said this in previous videos about George Pickens, that George Pickens is the key to opening up this offense. Having 2 threats lining up opposite of each other while having Jalen Tolbert threatening at that wide receiver 3 spot. This is going to cause defenses to operate out of a too high shell, lightening that box for Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, or Jadon Blue. This will put the offense on schedule with Brian Schottenheimer's vision for that ground and pound Marty ball that he plans on bringing to the Dallas Cowboys. But let's go ahead and hop into the second clip. In this clip, Marshall Newhouse gives his perspective on the Dallas Cowboys running back room. So let's go ahead and take a listen so we can come back and talk about it. This clip is a little long, Cowboys Nation, so I ask that you just bear with me. But let's go ahead and roll that clip.
I'm worried about the running back room. Yeah. Miles Sanders doesn't elicit a lot of excitement, especially when you talk about the years of having Zeke Elliott and the years of having a workhorse kind of running back behind an offensive line that warrants that type of running back and running style. But the passing game is going to be fun. So at the very least, they're going to be exciting to watch, and they're going to put up a lot of points. Assuming George Pickens, is a guy who can be reliable. He's literally a meme walking when it comes to some of his antics and his mannerisms, and it's incredible. He's an incredible must-watch when he's on the field. But the talent is there, absolutely. And, Dak has kind of really come into his own when it comes to giving 50-50 balls a chance to receivers. And so that's just the game that George Pickens plays. But also, listen, he's just a huge body that gives you a lot of room for error with his catch radius. And so you have CeeDee causing havoc on one side and making defenses really kind of tilt to his side and follow him with their eyes. And then you have George Pickens on the other side, and then tight ends who can absolutely help you get from down to down.
So my hope for the running game stems from the passing game because just structurally, defenses are going to have to, earlier I gave the stats of both these receivers just destroying single high as a defense, you really are not comfortable ISOing either of these guys. Right. So they're going to get a lot of light boxes. They're going to face a lot of too high, and that's going to, I think, help the run game. And
I understand exactly what Marshall's saying. I'm a little bit worried about the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys as well. I feel the team should have kept Rico Dowdle while adding to that backfield. The front office didn't agree with me, so they went and got Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders in free agency while letting their 1,000-yard rusher in Rico Dowdle go to the Carolina Panthers. At least we knew what we had when we had Rico Dowdle. Now the Dallas Cowboys backfield has 3 question marks heading into training camp. But Mina Kimes has had the same outlook as I do. I hope that the threat of the Dallas Cowboys passing attack will open up the run. The threat of Pickens and Lamb will cause other defenses to key on them, leaving the aggression of the offensive line to create gaps for those guys to run through. But in the third clip I got for you, Mina Kimes continues to say exactly what most Cowboys Nation is saying. So let's take a listen so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
That run game, to me, being better depends on like a few things happening. The young offensive line has to take another step. I want to talk to you about them in a minute, but there's continuity there, right? Like a lot of these guys got reps last year. I love that. Yeah. Guyton, Beebe, like they played together. And then obviously Tyler Smith is a stud. The young backs, Jaden Blue he's undersized, home run hitter, a little bit of fumbling problem in college. But as kind of the Tony Pollard role, I do like it. Okay. Javonte Williams, the guy who I'm hoping we can look a little bit more like he did at the beginning of his career, where he was really like tackle breaking, punishing, bell cow back. And then I don't think I've talked about this, but they brought in, as Brian Schottenheimer is calling the plays, but as an offensive coordinator, he brought in Clayton Adams from Arizona. I've been wondering about him. I haven't done a lot of research on Clayton Adams. He's a newer name for me. So, he's coming from the Cardinals, who had sick, unbelievable run game, dominant, right, over the last couple of years. And he brought some of his offensive line coaches with him, I believe. So, you never want to make huge assumptions. And obviously, James Conner's not walking through that door. But there's some pieces in place that make me think, okay, the favorable looks, different backs, young offensive line, interesting offensive coach who's had success with the run game. Maybe there's something there, but a lot of it does have to do with this young offensive line coming together.
Hey, if you watch my video when I gave love to our offensive line, you'll see that Mina Kimes and myself, we agree. The 2025 NFL season will go as far as the offensive line takes us. But y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. All right, Cowboys Nation, first and foremost, I have the utmost respect for Mina Kimes and her football knowledge. I respect her takes on football and the way she approaches talking about each team in the league. When you hear her speak, you can't tell who her favorite NFL team is, and that's the way it should be. So Stephen A. Smith, Shady McCoy, I need y'all to take notes on how Mina Kimes does things. But anyway, I'm going to state this yet again. This team is shaping out to be just like the 2021 Dallas Cowboys. We had a great passing attack, had a decent rushing attack, and nothing to write home about. Our defense was great by taking the ball away and pass rushing, but we sucked at stopping the run. Sure, some of that can be chalked up to coaching, but the rest has to fall on the shoulders of Jerry and Stephen Jones for not prioritizing certain position groups, thinking the team could make it off the backs of rookies. This year, there are a few spots on the defensive side of the ball that is a cause for concern for Cowboys Nation. We still haven't addressed the defensive tackle position. We have went into it with the same mindset of placing a rookie into the mix to try and help stop the bleeding. We are hoping that Amazi Smith can make a huge leap from his sophomore season. There's not a surefire player in that defensive tackle position that can cause Cowboys Nation to just chill, to just relax. The same goes for the cornerback position. There are so many question marks in that position group. Will Trayvon Diggs be ready to go before the start of the regular season? What's the status on Kalen Carson's shoulder? Are we looking to lean on an injured Siobhan Revel Jr.? Who's going to take the place of a Jordan Lewis? Will Khair Elam rise to the occasion? So many questions that need to be answered, Cowboys Nation. One way of answering that question? You gotta bring Stephon Gilmore back to Dallas, damn it. Jerry, Steven, please, let's get Stephon Gilmore back into the building. Let's get Gilly Rock in here for a cup of coffee so he can be a defensive back in our backfield. But hey, do y'all want to listen to the fans? I don't think so. But one thing I see where the Dallas Cowboys organization and some of the fans go wrong is they don't see the current landscape of the NFL and how these teams are beating their opponents. 2024's offseason had Jerry telling the media that the Cowboys were going to go as far as Dak took them when you have top teams in the league relying on their rushing attack and using the pass when it's necessary. Well, the Dallas Cowboys had the highest paid quarterback, so he should be passing in the majority of the game. That's not how you win Super Bowls. That's not how teams are winning nowadays. The Super Bowl quarterback, the MVP of the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts, ended his regular season with 2,903 yards with 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Why, you ask? It's because they didn't have to rely on the arm of their quarterback with every single win. They relied on Saquon Barkley and he delivered. When teams keyed in on Saquon, that's when you seen Jalen Hurts and his receivers go to work. Cowboys Nation expects their quarterback to be plan A, plan B, plan C, all the way down to plan Z. That's not going to win this team a championship, Cowboys Nation. That way of thinking is only going to get us to where we've been, and that's getting early round exit out of the playoffs. We talk about Jerry and Stephen Jones having to change their ways. We have to change up our ways of thinking as well, Cowboys Nation, because there has not been one quarterback in this league to do what Cowboys Nation expects our quarterback to do. This is why it was super crucial for our Dallas Cowboys to get a bell cow running back in last year's draft, and they didn't. They, once again, didn't prioritize the running back position when they can visibly see that the running back position has shown the league its importance last year. The running back position has aided these teams in their path to championship games. The Dallas Cowboys haven't prioritized their backfield since 2016. So, the team is once again having to lean on Dak Prescott's arm while the other teams can truly establish the run. But I'm not saying that Jadon Blue won't be a stud. I'm not saying that Javonte Williams won't have 1,000 yards rushing this season. I'm just saying that when you draft a running back with the 5th round pick, expect 5th round results. The Dallas Cowboys will pick up someone from the USFL and expect them to be the best in the league. Credit to Kevontae Turpin for being the best return man in the league, but this is expected every time the Dallas Cowboys go to the USFL well. So, like the 2021 NFL season, the offense isn't the side of the ball that leaves me with the most question marks. It's the defensive side of the ball. It leaves me to feel as if the offense is going to have to bail the defense out more than the defense is going to have to bail the offense out. And I know what you're going to say. Well, the Dallas Cowboys defense held the 49ers to 23 points. That was also the season where the Dallas Cowboys blew out a lot of their competition offensively as well. One thing that the defense wasn't in 2021 was consistent. Not as consistent as the offense was, but this is an ever-growing, evolving league. It is imperative for teams who look to stay competitive to evolve with the league. Until the Dallas Cowboys take an honest look at the league and build their philosophy and culture accordingly, this team will suffer the same fate it has suffered for the past 30 years. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What did y'all feel about what Mina Kimes and Marshall Newhouse had to say on the Mina Kimes Show? What do you feel about our chances in the 2025 NFL season? Y'all know how we get down. We always talk about it in the comments section. If you're digging this content and want to help the channel chip away at 20K, drop a like on this video, and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and you're optimistic about our chances for the 2025 NFL season, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdown, or Madden 25 or College Football 26 gameplay. I cannot wait until training camp starts, Cowboys Nation. This way we can shave down the team to that 53-man roster and practice squad that will be heading into the regular season. One of these days, I'll get to training camp, but I can't right now, and y'all understand why I can't. Till then, I'll be bringing y'all all this raw and uncut from home base. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.